Hello friends, this is Dr. John WorldPeace coming to you from Albuquerque, New Mexico. John WorldPeace, the independent maverick candidate for President USA 2028. I'm an independent voter, not a Republican or Democrat. I'm the only global advocate for peace and world peace in the world human society. Since Gandhi was assassinated on January 30th, my mother's birthday, 1927, Gandhi assassinated 1948. I was born 3 months later, April 24, 1948. Israel declared itself an independent nation on May 14, 1948 by David Ben-Gurion from Tel Aviv and was recognized by USA President Truman the same day. I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" And I said, "Here I am, Lord, send me." Isaiah 6:8. I changed my name April 1, 1988, Good Friday. I declared myself the only advocate for Jesus Christ, per John 14:26. Advocate, counselor, is also in America an attorney, lawyer. I practiced law for 20 years. I'm John WorldPeace. Jesus is the King of Peace. Revelation 11:16 is thought to refer to Jesus, but it refers to the advocate for Jesus. Elijah said he was the only prophet of God, and I say I'm the only advocate for Jesus. I have King of Kings and Lord of Lords embroidered on my right cuff. And tattooed on my right thigh. There is much disagreement in the book of Revelations. There are many false preachers who claim to know when Jesus will return. They're liars. Jesus said nobody knows. The red letter words of Jesus in Matthew 24:36 and Mark 13:32. Jesus states no one, not even the angels in heaven or Jesus himself, knows the days and hour of Jesus' return. Only God knows. It is only the most arrogant who claim to know what the enigmatic book of Revelations means, much less when Jesus will return, and under what circumstances. No Christian preacher or priest has ever challenged me on the above since I changed my name in 1988, 37 years ago. I'm also the only global advocate for peace and world peace in the world human society. I'm 76, I'll be 77 next month. I live a minimalist life, and I'm a follower of the spiritual red letter teachings of Jesus and the four Gospels, but I'm not a corporate Christian nationalist or Christian Zionist nor a religionist of any stripe. I am one man with one message, world peace. Peace and teaching peace is my metric. I do not worship the earth god of money. See also King of Kings, Lord of Lords.com, my Christian website. My two most relevant of the 10 books linked from this site are The Life of Jesus Christ, an Epic Poem, and the Third Millennium Second Reformation of Christianity. My presidential credentials, see my flagship, johnworldpeace.com, 43,000 pages. Anything you want to know about me is there. And also on that site are my qualifications to be president. The title of this article is Donald Trump, the USA, Israel, Palestine, and God. Jesus was a spiritual teacher who constantly said that his kingdom was not of this earth. John 18:36. In the Temple of Solomon during his ministry, he turned over the tables of the merchants and said, "It is written, my house shall be called a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves." When he asked whose image and inscription is on the coin he had, the answer was Caesar. And Jesus said, "Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's." These two statements by Jesus made it absolutely clear that he had no interest to establish a corporate church on earth. His kingdom is not of this earth, nor was he interested in politics. So corporate Christian nationalism and corporate Christian Zionism are an abomination to God and Jesus. You can tell a false preacher if he or she is teaching corporate Christian nationalism or Christian Zionism. The relevant chapters of the end times in the book of Revelation are chapters 4 to 22. None are red-letter words in these chapters except 5 generic sentences in chapter 22. No one knows who wrote the book of Revelations. It has no providence. The radical liberal left foundational message of Jesus was to feed the hungry, shelter the homeless, heal the sick, or go to hell. Matthew 25:31, these are the red-letter words out of the mouth of Jesus Christ. Donald Trump has from 2016, as part of his political mantra, cursed the radical liberal left message of Jesus. In addition, Trump, in his second presidency, has gone out of his way to illegally fire government employees, end all kinds of government programs that help the sick, the poor, the homeless. So Trump has made good on his campaign promise to dismantle America's mandate to work with those on the bottom of the American social pyramid and in the world human society. Donald Trump and all those who voted for him are destined for hell, per the red-letter words of Jesus. The red-letter, radical, liberal, left message of Jesus. In addition, Trump MAGA followers have gone out of their way to deny abortions. In addition, they've refused to support these children who they demand be born and therefore become surrogate parents. This comes under the Jesus demand in Matthew 25:31 above. Not to support with government entitlements children that the government has demanded be born is an anti-Christian action and punishable by being damned per the red-letter words of Jesus. You want to have no abortions? Then you support those children. America is the only true nation, and by the way, there's no anti-abortion legislation that allows for entitlements for children that are being demanded to be born. Fetuses demand to mature to children. America is the only true nation of God per its Constitution. America is a melting pot of all nationalities, all races, all religions, all genders. It is the only nation that is the chosen nation of God and its people the chosen people of God. As a result, God has blessed America above all other nations. No one can deny that. That said, Trump is a racist who hates people of color. He hates Muslims and other non-Christians, and he hates people of other nations. And he hates those who desire to change their sex or sexual orientation. A lot of hate. When asked whose wife would a woman be who had been married multiple times, Jesus said that humans do not marry in heaven because only God can make souls for humans. So in heaven, humans have no need for sexual genders. Human bodies are created from dust, and when the soul leaves, the body returns to dust. Genesis 2:7. And the soul returns to God who created it. Ecclesiastes 12:7. So the point is that the fact that souls who incarnate in female bodies are inferior to souls that incarnate into male bodies is a fiction used to subordinate women in the world human society. It is Paul who subordinated women in his writings, not Jesus. If a human being decides his soul is female-oriented and his body is male, he has a right to act and be in harmony with the gender he feels in harmony with. Trump has great fear of transsexuals, as do all MAGAs. Again, this nonsense comes from corrupt preachers who want women to remain subordinated in the world human society. The body is nothing but a vehicle, container that the soul incarnates into, and like the Bible says, when the body dies, the body returns to dust on the earth and of the earth, and the soul returns to God. Cross-dressing and transgender, transsexual issues are nonsense. Both sexes are human beings with incarnate, asexual, genderless souls. There were plenty of homosexuals in Jesus' day as there are today. Jesus never bothered to address the subject. The hatred of homosexuals and many others, Jesus' teaching was a creation of Paul's belief from his Jewish upbringing, not Jesus' red-letter words in the Bible. It's Paul who generated the homosexual discussion, not Jesus. Now let's talk about the Zionists. God condemned Zionists in 33 CE. The Jews crucified Jesus, their Messiah. In 72 CE, as Jesus predicted, God assigned the Romans to raise the city of David, Jerusalem, and raise the second temple of Solomon. The Jews were finally dealt with by the Romans at Masada, and the Jews were dispersed throughout the world without a homeland. In 600 CE, God raised up Muhammad, the progeny of Ishmael, the firstborn son of Abraham, and allowed the Muslims to build the Dome of the Rock on the site of the raised second temple of Solomon on the Temple Mount. And God also allowed the Muslims to build the Al-Aqsa Mosque on the Temple Mount. From 1000 to 1200 CE, the Christian Crusades tried to take Jerusalem from the Muslims without success. In the 1930s and 40s, God allowed the Nazis to exterminate 6 million Jews, along with 5 million other Europeans. The Muslims have been occupying Palestine since 600 CE, 1,400 years they've been on the land. At the end of World War II in 1948, the Jews declared an independent state from Tel Aviv, and the United States, through President Truman, was the first to recognize the nation of Israel. In 1967, the boundaries of Israel were set in Palestine, and the Jews occupied the rest of Palestine illegally. The United Nations does not recognize the occupied territories of Palestine as belonging to Israel. The Zionists, along with their backers, the United States, have had an ongoing Holocaust against the Palestinians, supported in every way by the United States since Harry Truman. So the Holocaust in Palestine is a joint American Zionist Holocaust. My God, the United States of America as a co-conspirator Holocaust generator. Joe Biden financed the complete destruction of Gaza by the Zionists, and at the end of his term of office admitted that he had always been a Jew. He's officially a Catholic, but he was 100% on the Jew side of the table. The Zionist American Holocaust in Gaza is an abomination to God. The Zionist American Holocaust in Gaza is against every founding principle of the United States Constitution and the teachings of Jesus Christ. Since his election on November 5, 2024, Donald Trump has from day one in office gone out of his way to destroy the democracy of the United States and establish a dictatorship. Nobody can deny it. The radical right, evangelical, fundamentalist, Christian Zionists have been 100% in support of Donald Trump, who curses the radical, liberal, left foundational message of Jesus to heal the sick, feed the hungry, shelter the homeless, or go to hell. Matthew 25:31, read it. Instead of listening to your preacher, read around it. As I speak, the Zionists are starving 2 million Palestinians in Gaza with the aid of the United States under Biden and now Trump. There's a God event on the horizon that's going to destroy America and Zionist Israel. The increased destruction of America through fire and water has made no impression on Americans. The World Human Society, and in particular America under Donald Trump, deny climate change and are fast-forwarding global warming in pursuit of the Earth God money. The World Human Society is not sustainable on its present trajectory. If I'm a minority of one, the truth is still the truth. And let me tell you something. Like Jesus said, most people can look at the weather and get it. It's going to be a God event about weather. It's building up. Look at the weather since Trump's been elected. Look at the weather before Trump was elected with Biden's support of Israel. A God event is coming. You can bet on it. And when it starts, and it already has started, there was COVID, and there's been fire and water. Los Angeles, North Carolina. And Donald Trump wants to play like there's no climate change. Give me a break. This is Dr. John WorldPeace JD. Think about it. It'll become clear to you what the right thing to do is.